Welcome to Unprecedented Destination Success, the podcast that uncovers the secrets to building unprecedented and unstoppable success with your World Ventures business so you can live the life of your dreams unapologetically. Never miss an episode. Subscribe at unprecedentedtv.com or just click the link in the description below. I'm your host, Davide Di Giorgio, and I'm on a mission to bring you the everyday, extraordinary people who've risen to the top. And I'm asking them to share their best expert tips, experiences, and road-tested secrets that have allowed them to create unprecedented success so that you can do it too. My guest today is Nick Greco. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Davide. I'm excited to be on here, brother.
Absolutely. So what are you celebrating right now, Nick?
Wow, I like that you asked that question. I'm celebrating the fact that I got to sleep in today. My wife let me sleep in 8:15.
I love that celebration. I don't let myself sleep in anymore because I got the squats to do and I've got the kickboxing gym to do. But yeah, maybe this weekend I'll do a little sleep in.
Yeah.
So let's dive into some rapid fire style questions. Let's start off with, where do you live?
So I'm out here in Denver, Colorado.
Love it. So much action happening in Denver right now at World Ventures. When did you get started with World Ventures?
So my wife Danielle and I, we got started back in 2009. We were 19 years old. We were in college, and we started doing this out of our dorm room.
Crazy, amazing. Okay, 2009. It's been a minute.
It's been a good minute, yeah.
And what is your current rank?
We're regional marketing directors.
Nice. And the current size of your team?
We've got about 2,000 active memberships.
Wonderful. Okay, so you said you got started in college from the dorm room. So I guess we kind of know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it. Before World Ventures, I think that should become, the new BCE. It's going to be WV. Before World Ventures, did you have previous network marketing experience, or what was your job experience? What did you come to World Ventures with?
Gotcha. I'm probably going to embarrass myself here, but so the only job experience I had before World Ventures is I was bagging groceries at the King Supers. That's what I did. I was bagging groceries. That's what I did.
Great. And so I'm sure there were some skills that you could transfer, like you had to be nice to people and talk to people.
It's true. Yes, you did have to be nice, and that was about it. That was pretty much the job. If you could put groceries in the bag and be nice, you could.
So really, I mean, you came to World Ventures with no specific experience in network marketing. You just started cold.
Pretty much, and yeah, I mean, completely. And I wasn't the kid either who was like an entrepreneur and like went off and started my own businesses or any of that kind of stuff. I had that job, and I remember I hated it. Like, so that motivated me to build something of my own, because I didn't like having a traditional job. I didn't like that bagging job, but yeah, that was it.
And just curious, in college, what were you going through for?
So I was the guy who changed my major all the time. I started out with computer engineering because they made good money, and then I went and spent some time with a computer engineer. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. So then I switched to computer science, and same thing. I wasn't any good at it. And I really didn't. By that point, I had already heard about World Ventures, and I kind of already figured this is what I was going to do. So then I switched to business, and then I switched to communication, and then I just stopped showing up after a while. That's what happened.
I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with that. And if you do resonate, drop a comment below. Let us know what you started out with and where you ended up basically through this whole journey. I'd love to hear that. So Nick, tell me, what do you believe?
Oh gosh, that's such a good question. I believe life is good. Life is good. People are good.
I love that. Yeah, it took me a while to start to believe people are good, because I got a little bit jaded for a little while. And now I do believe people are intrinsically good. That's for sure. Yeah. What do you love?
I love my family. I love my son. I love, our business. I love our team. I love our life.
Nice. What do you love about World Ventures?
Oh man, a lot. I think I love everything about World Ventures. You know what I mean? And not that World Ventures is perfect, but I just love the freedom that this can bring, to someone's life, to their family, and the type of lifestyle that this can provide. And on top of that, I love the people. We really, really, really do have some of the best people, not just on the corporate side of things, but just like, the people that, at least for me, that I surround myself with. I love those people, the people on our team. Love you guys.
Yeah, amazing. And I echo that back to you. And actually, watching what you guys are doing in Denver, not just from a business perspective, but from a human relationship perspective, that's definitely something that I want to duplicate here in San Diego. So I'm watching how you guys all hang out and do life together.
That's awesome.
It's
Do
very
it.
inspirational. All right, so let's get down to business here. Give us one of your favorite objection busters, because I'm sure people, over the almost 10 years you've been doing this, you've heard some good ones.
Yeah. I mean, so when we started, when we were 19, and it used to be $500 to get in back then. There was no, lower level membership, like we have now. It was just $500. So we got the money objection quite a bit. And typically what I'll do now when we get a money objection is I'll isolate the objection. So I'll ask the person, pretty straight up, just, okay, cool. So you like it. You just don't have the money, other than the money, is there anything else that would hold you back from hopping on and getting started? Meaning that if, I gave you whatever, $400 to sign up right now, or it just fell out of the, the ceiling or whatever, you'd be like, I'm in. And because I'm really trying to see if they, if that's really the thing, because lots of times people will give you an objection like time or money or whatever it is. And you can do this with all of them, but I'll isolate the objection. Like, other than that, is there anything else that would hold you back? And then, if they give you another objection, then that second objection is usually the real objection. Then you can, overcome that one. But if they don't, then I'll just ask them again. I'll say, okay, cool. So do you have access somewhere to whatever it is, a couple $100 to get started with us? And if you just ask again, you'd be surprised how many people are like, well, yeah, I have access. You know what I mean? I've got the money. I was like, cool. So then it's just a matter of, let's get you in and let's team up. Let's go help you make your money back. So that way, you're good to go. You're in the profit.
Well, and that's the cool thing is, like, we can make your money back if you just like work it a little bit, and it doesn't take hours upon hours, because that, and I'm living proof of that.
Yep.
So, okay, that's a good one. I love that, because the money one definitely comes up, and I love that you identified it's not always the first objection that is the actual objection, and that's really important to remember when you're getting started in a business like this. Is people will just throw something out because it's just a natural response, but that's not really what the issue is. So.
Yeah. And I remember hearing this a while ago, but just that for the most part, and I found this to be true, is that with objections in general, usually the objections aren't necessarily real. It's just their mind buying time so they can process all the information that you just showed them. And lots of times people just don't want to make that, quick yes decision. So if you just, you overcome the objections, but you politely ask again, give them time for their brain to kind of catch up to everything. Lots of times, after 10, 15, 20 minutes or whatever, 5 minutes even, their brain's caught up and, they're ready to make a decision one way or the other.
Yeah, I hear you. That's great. Okay, so another thing that supports people who are brand new or newer in this World Ventures community is inviting people. So give us one of your favorite ways to invite someone to being open to hearing about World Ventures.
For sure. Well, I think the best way to invite, because is inviting your white hot market. Okay, so like your close friends, your close family, and it's really, really easy. I know lots of times people kind of struggle with the invite, but one of the ways that I use to invite people, and I'll even do this when it's not even like my own people. Like, let's say I just get somebody started. If you just put some urgency and some some urgency in the invite. So let's say I sign someone up brand new, I'm going to help them invite their best friend, their brother, their sister, whatever it is. And what I'll have them say is basically super simple, just like, hey, how soon can you and I get together? Like, how quick, like how soon, when do you have, like how soon can we get together? And they can do this in a text message, they can do this in a call, but kind of built into that is some urgency of like, hey, I just found something, how soon can we get together? How soon can you come meet me? And it's a really simple invite, and it works, especially with those white hot contacts.
Yeah, I love that. That's excellent. Awesome. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper. If you could go back to month one, what advice would you give yourself today?
That's a good one. That's a really good one. So if we could go back to the very beginning, I think for my wife Danielle and I, our biggest problem when we first joined World Ventures, and the reason, I don't know everyone that you've had on here, but like our story, we didn't have fast success. You know what I mean? We weren't the fastest people to start at this. I mean, we it really took us a while to get things going. So um, if I could go back to month one, I would believe more in World Ventures. I believe more in myself. I would believe more in the process. I believe more in the people that were teaching me how to do this. Because that lack of belief, I think, is really what slowed us down. And it took us, it took us over 3 years to get to senior rep. And a lot of that wasn't because of a lack of activity or lack of we went to all the trainings, we did all this stuff, we went on dream trips, but really it was our lack of belief in ourselves, in the company, in our, whatever, our upline, in the system. And looking back now, man, if we would have just like decided to go all in and just believe bigger, faster, we could have hit, all these different ranks way quicker than we did. So just believe bigger, faster.
Yeah, it's so funny coming out with my book right now, and it's so funny because I just didn't believe I could do it, and I don't know, like you just don't think like, what do I have to say that anyone else is going to want to listen to or whatever, right? And now it's not a regret, but it's just an observation. It's like, God, I should have released a book 20 years ago. Seriously.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. When all of a sudden my mentor, who sold over 1 million copies of his books, said to me, he's like, David, now your life is forever changed. I just got an invitation to like potentially travel to India 5 times a year to speak there. And so like, and it's all just because now I have this book, and it's a good book. I didn't just write garbage, but it's interesting. If you believe in yourself, it makes such a big difference. And that's definitely part of the work that I'm up to and really building up our team too, is like, you just got to believe, be confident, go out there, be unapologetic. And all of a sudden people will react to you.
Yeah, 100%. And you got to think too, and congrats on the book launch. I can't wait to get my copy. But yeah, you just got to think, people want to follow people that are all in and that do believe, you know what I mean? And really at the end of the day, our business is it's a transfer of belief, and the more certain person, wins. And I think for us, a lot of the people that we showed early on, and, some of those early years when things were really difficult when it came to building this, just dealing with the slow growth,
Mhm.
a lot of I'd say basically all of it came down to our belief, our certainty, and just because we didn't have it back then, we had
Mhm.
these ideas in our head that we, oh well, we're 19 years old, who's going to follow us,
Right.
or we had this story playing in our head that we were the broke college students, and when we changed the story and when we changed our belief, it's like everything else changed, and that's just people want to follow that.
Yeah, absolutely. So early on, when you did start having a little bit of success, what did start working? What did you start to notice? Like, oh, this is actually working. We're going to do more of this.
Yeah. I think a pretty good combination of stuff. So what ended up happening is about 2.5 years in, our the guys who sponsored us, so our direct, I guess, upline, other than Lorenzo, basically everyone between us and Lorenzo, and we actually work pretty close with the like my sponsor and his brother. They were family. Those guys quit, and that was maybe like a year and a half to 2 years in, something like that. And it was probably the best thing that ever happened to us. Even though at the time, like I was pretty upset, you know what I mean? Like I was mad at them, but I decided the switch really flipped, like really, really flipped at a World Ventures event. It was at the View in 2011. Okay. So the View is an event that we do every October. It's unbelievable. So we were at the View, and I was holding on to some of this, anger and stuff like that. And at the View, there's a lot of different characters that Mark Aceta goes through. And I don't even remember which character it was, but I remember leaving that event, making a new decision that instead of me looking for, the upline to come help me, to come save me and come do my meetings for me and all that kind of stuff. I made it, me and Danielle both, we made a new decision that we were going to go be the leader that we wanted to have. We were going to go be the best upline that we could possibly be. We're going to go be that person to the people on our team. And so at that point, we signed up a guy named Quentin Blanche, who is now a marketing director. And we started cranking it out, man. And we just started to be the upline that we wanted to have, and that distinction pretty much changed everything, really.
It's so funny because really at the core, that's what my entire book is about, is like when you make the decision to be who you want to be, everything changes, period. And so, yeah, I can totally see that. And I just had a conversation with Claudia on my team about that because, they're excited launching Mexico right now. And there's not, when you're launching a new country, not all the resources are very clear. Not everybody knows all the answers. And I just had the same conversation with Claudia. I said, Claudia, just take the lead on this thing. And if you don't know the answer and someone's asking you, just say, look, this is all very new. I'm going to find out for you. Just hang on with that, right? Just be the leader, take the leader, own Mexico,
Yeah. Well, that's something I love about you, man, because you do that. Like you absolutely do that. And you're really, really good at it where you just, I don't know what it is, but you recognize that leadership is assumed, not granted, right? Like you gotta knight yourself. Like no one's gonna, run up to you, especially in this business and say, come out with a sword and knight you and say, you're now a leader. Like you gotta knight yourself, and you got to step up on your own, and you do that. You totally do that. When you do that with this podcast, you do that with, I see what you're doing, Davide. We know who's doing it. So I'm
I don't
proud
have time
of
to
that.
waste. You know what I mean? Like there's no time to waste here. I'm like, okay, if other people can do it, why can't I do it? Right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's just a challenge. And I shared this at my speaking engagement last night. One of the reasons that I decided to go into this crazy direct sales network marketing world is because I hate rejection. And I thought, well, the only way to fix this problem is to immerse myself in a world that is wrought with rejection.
Yeah, come and get it, because that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So, and now I'm kind of like, whatever. That's nice. You say no, that just means for now. That's okay.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Okay, so early on, I'm sure you have a couple of these since you identified it did take you some time to build, right? So what are some things, or one of the things that you can identify back then that like just bombed, that you just like, don't do this as a new person?
Nice. That's a even better question, probably. There's a lot of things, man, that we screwed up. I remember, this is maybe 6 months in. Okay. And we've got like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 people on our team. We built a little bit of a team, and we went home for summer break, and our upline, who was, so not Lorenzo. Lorenzo's been, solid the entire time, but our upline, the guys who signed us up, that I was telling you guys that ended up leaving World Ventures. We did, I don't know why we did this, dude, but they had some experience in more like direct sales. And so they decided that instead of doing the meetings and doing the exposures or showing people, over coffee at like a 2-on-1 or travel parties and that type of thing, they decided we would take a totally different approach than the rest of the company. And I don't think I've ever really told anybody this, but we wasted like a solid, 3, 4, 5 months that could have been super productive doing this. So they convinced us that it was a good idea to, that they got an office. Okay. These guys got an office, and they decided that we were just going to go out and about to like our parents and our parents' friends, and just direct sell just the Dream Trips membership, which in itself isn't really a bad idea. Go show people the Dream Trips membership, but we just were completely off track because we weren't contacting people the same way. We were doing it in a way where, we were just basically asking for, their time, come like pity time, if that makes sense. Hey, can I please come show you this thing that I just started? I'm helping make money for college or whatever. And yeah, we wasted probably like 3, 4 months just trying to go sell memberships to our parents' friends. And it was just the way that we did it. Not, like I said, not that that's bad. You should go show the membership, everybody that you know. But the way that we did it was, instead of, sitting down, showing people the right way, we were kind of just throwing people, throwing ourselves and even getting people on board with us, kind of throwing them out there to the wolves and letting them go do it on their own. And it just did not work. And we basically wasted it in our entire first summer doing that. And that was probably the most I've seen, the most that I can remember being like, just like off track, because
Right.
we weren't really plugged in. We weren't really building. We were trying to, basically we were putting our own wrinkle on the system, and ever since then, what happened after that is I remember we went to an event in August of that year. So, right at the end of summer. And at that event, I made another decision that like, okay, I'm not going to stray from the system. Like these, the people that are teaching this stuff from stage, they know what they're doing. They like, and when we make money, they make money. So they're not going to hide anything from us. They
Right.
know it's the fastest way to go get this thing done. And, I just made the decision again, like I'm not going to stray from the decision. I'm not going to stray from what works. I don't know. Sorry, here's my mom and there's the baby. All right.
Hi.
Gotta go.
All right, come on, come on. Say come on.
Say bye-bye. Okay. Wait, shut the door for me, Mom. Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Family happens. I mean,
Family happens. I get it.
but that's the beauty of this business, right? Is that you can, like, you are able to be an at-home dad because of what World Ventures, what you've created with it for yourself.
True. And I was thinking about this the other day. I feel like I pretty much am like a stay-at-home dad. Like we do meetings and all this stuff, but
Sure.
we're home a lot, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so on the flip side of that, share maybe some of the greatest success stories that you've had, or give a couple people some shout outs that have been like the shining stars that you're super proud of. You're like, okay, this is where everything started to turn for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we have a lot of really great people on our team, and I love, the people, the people on our team. I really, really, really do. I gotta get like, I mean, really big part of it started when we signed up Q, and, Quentin, down there in Colorado Springs, he was really like the first person who I feel like really believed in me. And this is around that same time, late 2011, where, I made that new decision that I was going to go be the upline that I wish I had, and he was just the first follower. He was the first one to just really believe in us, and I'm just super grateful for him. I mean, because of him joining our team and believing in us, and us believing and us working together and everything. That group is, there's 5 marketing directors in that group. There's thousands of members in that team. And that's led to, people like Mike Guerra, Dave Fleming, Tanel Chalklin, Rosalie. So we've got some really solid people. And, for Danielle and I, we're not in a position where we've had anybody ever placed on our team. So, we're kind of on a little bit of an island, when it comes to the business. We've never had anyone placed on our team. So we got that team going, and then, had to go do it completely from scratch again. And, we found some other people, and, Mallory and Austin, and, those guys again, just believed in us. George and Holly down in Colorado Springs, Jonathan, out there in San Diego, and, Angie Hall out here. So we've, like I said, we've been super blessed. We have some really awesome people. And, I'd say that, one of my favorite stories is Angie, because, she's done this the right way. She's built it the right way, where, she's completely out of debt. She's gone from not taking any vacations to going on like 40 vacations in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going to a bunch of really cool spots too. And she's still got her full-time job. I think a mistake that a lot of people make in our business, and, it's important that people listen to this, because a lot of us made this mistake, is when you start making some money, a lot of times people will quit their jobs way too soon. And sometimes it can make sense. It can make sense maybe if you're a 22-year-old kid and your bills are $1,000 a month and you're making 4 or 5, right? But for a lot of other people, they quit their job way too soon, and this is meant to be a part-time thing. And so Angie's done a really good job of that. I'm just so proud of everyone. I mean, dude, Jonathan out there in San Diego, like, the dude's just a workhorse, and he's leading on his own, doing this thing, making it happen, without the support. Like, I don't know. I love it when people step up and go for their dreams, like go for what they really want.
That's it. I love that. Awesome. So, okay, you bring someone new on the team. What is the first step you give to everybody?
So whenever I bring in someone new, or like someone on the team brings someone new, in my mind, if I'm there for the exposure, like if I'm there when they enroll, the next step, like especially if we have more meetings that day, is I'm going to schedule a game plan with them. Okay. And a game plan is just another time. Okay, cool. Tomorrow we're going to get together and we're going to grab coffee. Or if they're long distance, then we're going to, hop on a Zoom, and I'm going to roll through. I'm going to start to help you. I'm going to start to teach you how to do this. Okay. Like, we're going to team up. We're going to do this thing together. And what I do with those people is I basically, the 4 steps that I go through is, number one, I get their goal on paper. So, really kind of dig down a little bit. Like, do they just want to travel? Do they just want to make 1,000 a month, or do they want to make 100 grand a month? Because these are different. If they want to make 100 grand a month, is a different conversation that I need to have with that person versus if they want to make 1,000 a month, right? So the first thing I do is I'm going to get their goal on paper, and I'm going to use that goal to steer them from there. And really, a lot of times people, they do want to make money, and they want to make, either a significant part-time income, or, replace what they have, or make 6 figures or whatever. So I'm going to get their goal on paper. And then the next thing that I do is I'm going to get them registered for the next training event. And because if it's applicable, if they just want to travel, I'm not going to sign them up for the next training event. I'm going to sign them up for a dream trip, right? Yeah. But so number one, goal. Number 2 is I'm going to get them registered for the next training, because if they do want to make 1,000 a month or 8,000 a month or whatever their number is, to get them there, like, we got to get you to the next training. Like, the people who make that money, here's what those people do is they go to the next training event. So I'm going to get them registered for the next training event. Then I'm going to schedule their launch event. That's number 3. And then, the launch event, just a presentation at their house. So I'm going to get on their books. And then after that, I'm going to help them score in 24. And the score in 24 piece is, let's help them make their list, and let's hang out and let's invite together, because I've been doing this for 9 years, and they got a fresh contact list, so I know how to invite. So I'm going to teach you how to invite these people, those close friends, and we're going to get the ball rolling. So those are the 4 steps that I go through with someone new at a game plan.
That's good. I'm definitely in the category of, I want to make 100,000 a month. Like our friend over in Africa who's doing that, because I think that's extraordinary. And he's 24 or something.
24, killing
it. A break. So, and even more importantly, I just want to make enough income to have my husband quit his corporate job, so we can actually just live full time and have fun doing this as we build all the other stuff that we're doing. So,
we can go to Italy.
Yes, definitely.
We'll go to Italy.
I want that conversation, because that I'm so in Vegas. That's the conversation we're having. It's like, okay, now I'm getting really serious about this. So
yeah, let's do it.
So, okay. So over the years, 9 years, I'm assuming you may have hit the wall a couple of times, and you've already identified. When you do hit the wall, what's the thing that gets you through?
Dang. Yeah, no, it's a really good question, because there's been a couple different times, and everyone has this in business, and everyone has this in life. It's not just this business. It's not, a lot of times people will think, they hit a wall in their World Ventures business, and they just think it's their World Ventures business. But it happens in everything in life. And so what I've done in the past that really works for me a couple of different times, because, the walls, if you haven't hit them yet, like, they're coming, is I will do my best to get extremely clear on what I actually want. I feel like lots of times when we hit those walls in life, we have lost focus on the things that we're actually going for and the things that we actually want. And we've been wasting our energy on things that don't contribute to that ultimate goal. So I get really, really clear on where I want to go and what I want to, do with this. So that, I'll get super duper clear on that. And then I will sometimes even, I've done this before a couple different times, where I'll make a list of like 100 different reasons why I need to go get that done. Because it's never lack of like resources that ever holds anybody back. You know what I mean? Sometimes people will say, oh, I just don't have anyone left to call. It's not lack of resources. It's lack of resourcefulness. I don't have a ton of contacts that, most of my we've been doing this for 9 years. Most of my contacts know about World Ventures, know that I'm doing World Ventures, you know what I mean? But lo and behold, every time we make we make a new decision, we get clear on what we want, we get the reasons clear, we go sponsor new people. It's like, where did they come from? I don't know. I sometimes I literally do not know where they came from. It's just, we made the decision up here, the waters parted, and we found them. So I think clarity is a big difference maker.
And I think it's something I talk about a lot too in the book also is vision. Is you need to have a vision, and it has to be right there. Why do you think I have the Italian flag sitting right over here?
Yeah.
right? Like, because I know that that's on my bucket list. I want to travel there with you, with Heath. I want to, like that's
Yeah.
something I keep it in front of me all the time because I need that reminder is like, this is why I'm doing it. This is why it matters to me.
Yeah. 100%. And it's so easy to get caught up in like the day to day, just minutia and life and all this other stuff. And it's easy to lose track of those things. But if you keep them here, like, just like you said, man, you keep them right in front of your face, basically,
Yeah.
you'll get them.
And the beauty is there's lots of flags there. I just like rotate the flag and like, where else do I want to go? Where else do I want to go? Right. So I keep the vision right there in front of me. So
Yeah.
now I know that you have an interesting way of strategizing as you're building this because I think I realized maybe a couple weeks in, once I started really getting serious with getting out there with this, I'm like, I think the way people actually build this as a business is to have multiple positions. So do you want to talk a little bit about what that looks like in the beginning, how you want to start that in the beginning?
Yeah, and maybe this isn't for everybody too. You know what I mean? So if you're on here and you're watching this, maybe this isn't for you. But I wish I would have known this when I first joined. There is ways to build your business with multiple business positions, and it's something that you want to do the right way because there's people as well that do it in a way that's it's more of a detriment that it takes away more than it adds. But I mean, it is wise if you're going to build this thing and you're going to be long term. Okay, if you're just kind of testing the waters, don't do this. And if you maybe just want to make a couple $100 a month, I wouldn't worry about doing this. But if you really do want to make lots of money, it can be to your benefit in the future. All right, to have multiple business positions. And the way, like, if I could go back brand new, start over, hit the reset button or whatever. Today, I would buy 3 business positions is what I would do. I would buy the top one, I guess, is the main one. And then I would buy the one on the left team and then the one on the right team at the very, very top. And the reason that you want to do that is because, and you're really not going to touch those other business centers for a while. Like, there is a little bit you can do with that. If you're on here and you're not a part of our group, talk with your upline or reach out to me. I can kind of, show you, tell you the strategy on how to do this right. But you buy those top, the top one and the 2 right underneath it. And you don't really build necessarily the other 2. You're going to focus on the main one, get that one going. But down the road, when it does become time to build another business position, you already have your top spot on the right, your top spot on the left. You've already built business underneath those, so it makes just the most sense to own those business positions. And if you're already in and you haven't yet started building your second team, and you are taking this serious, it can then make sense to own at least the top spot on that inside team, be it your left or the right. But if you haven't started building that just yet. So there's people out there who have multiple business positions that make money from all these different business positions. And I think it's a wise thing. So if I could start over, that's what I would do. 100%.
Interesting. I'm thinking because I do have that top left spot, and I never thought about having the one right underneath the right too, because that completely makes sense to own that spot because you're going to double maximize what you're.
Yeah. And the reason that I would buy both of them is really because you don't know how things are going to turn out, right? So if you have both of them, let's say, like in your example, like let's say that you put someone in on that left team and they just end up being superstars, rock stars. They go put in 10,000 people, right? Well, then you're going to be back to building, you could then build on that other one. And if you're already in and you're already on the team and you know that you're long term, just keep in close contact with the people that you've put in on that one team if you haven't already gotten a position over there. And if it makes sense, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, once again, reach out and talk with someone, because you don't want to be the guy who's just got like 12 monthly dues. Like, you don't be that guy. You don't have all these different business positions. But reach out to the people on your team. And if any of them ever say, hey, I just don't know if I want to do this anymore, instead of just letting them cancel it, have them transfer it over to you.
Yeah, that's smart. Interesting. Okay, we're going to have a conversation about that in Vegas too. Good. I
We
love
will.
it. Now, what's a great resource that you love to share with everybody who comes on board that you're like, you must get on this thing?
Gotcha. Yeah. So, I mean, everybody brand new, I'm going to have them, like, I'm going to schedule the game plan. I'm going to go through all that stuff, like I told you, in person if possible. And I'm going to do all that. But something I'll have them do right there on the spot is I'll have them download the Chillin' Worldwide app if they're doing the business. If they're just doing the membership, I'm going to have them download the Dream Trips app. But on that Chillin' Worldwide app, it is it's a really good resource for all the reps. There's tons of information in there, and usually depending on their personality, I'll have that person, there's a button on there that says audios, and I'll have that person, if they're the person who wants to make a lot of money, there's Eric Grzybowski audios on there. He's got a get paid, the original get paid audio is on there, so I'll have them listen to that. If they're kind of a softer personality, I'll have them listen to someone else that's on there. But I remember when we first joined, they gave us like a 10 disc CD set when we joined. It was like an extra promo. And we had this 10 CD set. It was called Drive Time University. And dude, I don't think I would still be in World Ventures if it wasn't for those audios, for that CD set, because we just got to, hear a bunch of stories and kept reminding ourselves, like, this is real. It works. There's all these people that are making it happen. And so I get people on the Chillin' Worldwide app. It's free, and they can get a ton of audios on there and get that same type of experience.
Yeah, you remind me that I need to commit to maybe like one audio every day or two and share that with my team also. Because that's the other thing, is like, when you're being inspired, then you pass it down and everyone gets inspired. I mean, it's infectious, right? So, but that's the thing. If you're not inspired, how are you going to inspire anyone else?
100%, man. And yeah, I mean, it's like good in, good out, and what kind of good in you putting in, not just for life stuff, but for World Venture stuff if you're trying to build this.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're almost at the end here. Let me ask you, what is your vision with World Ventures and your team moving forward?
Good question. I like it. Dude, we're going to have multiple, we're going to have dozens of IMDs, in our team, and, not just IMDs for IMD's sake, but, we're going to set a lot of people free and help a lot of people achieve their goals, their dreams. And, I see it, and I don't know the, timeframes on some of these things, but I just see it where, we have a solid, we already do have a solid group of leaders that are all friends that all get along and, work really well together. But I see us bringing a bunch more people with us, and, just building that community of people that, not only are going for their goals and dreams, but a bunch of them that have achieved a lot of their goals and dreams, and, traveling the world together, having fun, being on the beaches of the world, cruising around in the Caribbean on a yacht together, and being able to do some of that fun stuff, raising our kids together, and, having our kids have friends in multiple countries, multiple continents, so not only achieving our goals for ourselves, but helping a bunch of other people go get that done.
Nice. I can't wait. As part of your team, I am extremely thrilled to be a part of that. So I love that vision. So before I ask you for a final thought to share with all the listeners, Nick, thanks so much for coming on and sharing. For you listeners, remember to subscribe, leave your comments below. Let us know what you think, what you love, what you've learned, and subscribe at unprecedentedtv.com. Never miss an episode. So Nick, a final thought for those people who are listening. Maybe they're newer, they've been in a while, they're not inspired. What is a final thought you want to just leave them with?
Yeah. So I will tell you guys, so I've been a part of World Ventures for 9 years. And, we're, like I told you at the beginning, we're regional marketing directors, and, life is like World Ventures, and life has been pretty good to us, especially the past 6 years since, we've been doing this full time. But I will tell you guys, like, I am more excited about World Ventures right now than I have ever been. Like, right now is for sure, by far, especially if you live in the United States, right now is the best time to go out there and go build this thing. Like, right now, it's probably the biggest opportunity here in the United States and really in the world, but it's the biggest opportunity that we're all going to have in World Ventures. Okay. In my opinion, is right now. So, and I'm not just saying that, cause I'm on here or whatever, I need something to say. Like, I'm on here because that's true. That is absolutely true. And, I'm just excited, man, to just be working as hard as we are right now to have, some momentum on our teams right now, because I know what's getting ready to take place is, we're going to go as a company from, whatever, 800 million a year, $900 million a year to 2, 3, 4, $5 billion a year. That's going to happen. And it's probably going to happen, like it did when we went from 300 million to 900 million in a short amount of time. And when World Ventures went from 300 to 900 million, my team, because we were working it, we were building my team, the company 3X'd, but my team 20X'd, like 20 times bigger in that same time frame. So the same thing is going to happen again. And just, for those of you guys out there, if you're not inspired, or, you're not really building right now, or maybe you're off track, if you don't get back on track, like, they're going to be on our team. You know what I mean? Because we're building this thing. We are absolutely building. We're not just talking about, like, we're doing it. We're absolutely doing it. So, dude, I'm fired up. I think now is just the best time, the absolute best time to go out there, go build this thing. And I'm telling you, like, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, we're going to be damn glad that we did.
Heck yeah, I love that. The best time is right now. So what are you waiting for, right? Nick, thanks again so much for coming on the show. You're inspiring a lot of people. You inspire me. Thanks for being a great leader and a great friend. I really do look forward to traveling to Italy with you. And while we won't have kids, maybe we'll bring a pet along. I don't know, because we'll be bougie like that and travel.
Do it. Why not? Why not?
Thanks so much again. Thank you all for listening and watching. I'm Davide Di Giorgio on behalf of me and Nick Greco. See you on the next episode of Unprecedented Destination Success.